Hi and welcome to or back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be recording my advanced Italian studying routine. I recently have been on a lot of summer vacations and definitely fell out of my study routine. Before the summer, I had a really good thing going. I was studying a lot of grammar, reading a lot in Italian, and I definitely want to get back into that, especially as we move towards fall and I feel like more productive, more focused. So today I wanted to do another video about my study routine so you can all see what I do to study Italian at home as an advanced student, so around like a B2 C1 level. So first off, I'm going to start with some grammar, and I'm going to use a grammar workbook that I downloaded, and I will link it down below so you can get it off Amazon or download it from somewhere else or buy a physical copy. I really like it because it's an advanced grammar book, and I just have it here on my laptop, and I have a notebook that I write all the exercises and some notes in. Looks like this section is chapter 10, and we will be reviewing the subjunctive and the conditional, which if you study Italian, you know is always a fun topic. But that's good because I really need to review a lot of these things and figure out where the holes are in my grammar and my Italian studying, because this year I'm really trying to improve, because I feel like once you get to a more advanced level, you really see all the little mistakes you make. You can really pinpoint where your weaknesses are. So I'm really trying to work on that because I want to be a lot more accurate with my Italian. I don't want to be making these simple beginner mistakes anymore, and I really want to just polish up my Italian. So we're going to start with grammar, move on to some reading because I downloaded a new book in Italian to my iPad. I always say Kindle, but it is an iPad, but I really only use it for reading anyway, so I always end up calling it a Kindle. And then also do some more fun things like watching shows in Italian. So I'll take you through all that. For now, let's get started on grammar. I really like this brand of grammar workbooks. I actually used another one of their books when I first started learning Italian. I feel like the way that they explain the material is really cohesive and clear. And I also love that at the end of every section, they have a bunch of different exercises that you can do, and then of course the answer key in the back. And here's the expression on my face, realizing that there are still things that I don't understand about congiuntivo. So since I've been working through this advanced book, I try to finish the full chapter in one session. But since this material was a bit more difficult, I only did about 3 to 4 of the exercises. So I finished some of the exercises, and honestly I did pretty well. I just feel like with the subjunctive tense, congiuntivo in Italian, I always struggle with it. Like when I'm doing grammar exercises, I feel like I do very well, but that's because I'm going through exercises and I have time to think about it. But then when I'm speaking and I know there's a situation coming up that I just said something that uses congiuntivo, my brain freezes up because I'm like, wait, how would I translate that? Like it doesn't come, it's one of the things that doesn't come naturally to me yet. And it doesn't come immediately right away. And then I start like panicking. I'm like, wait, I don't know how to use it. Like I just used a hypothetical situation. So that means I have to conjugate the verb and then I'm like, you know what? Never mind. I'm going to pretend I didn't start that sentence so I don't have to finish it with the congiuntivo. And it's something that I've been wanting to work on for a long time, because obviously when you're speaking, a lot of times things will come up where you say, I think this, I believe this, I want this to happen. In those situations, I'll use congiuntivo. And it gets even more complicated when it's not just present tense, you're also using past and conditional and all the other things that are just like added layers of difficulty. And so this is something I really want to practice more. So it's good that I'm doing this. Obviously, it's just not the most fun thing. That's why I decided to do grammar first in my study session, because that way I can get to the more fun stuff. So right now it just randomly got kind of cloudy. I have a little candle lit. I have my ambient noise, like a little fall cafe music playing. Even though it's still August, but we're going to pretend it's fall already, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and start reading some of my book. I did start this already. I think I'm in just like 2 chapters in. Probably just do a chapter or 2. I think this book so far is really good because it is originally an English book that's translated, but it's like just a little bit more difficult than the translated books that I've read previously. So I think it's good because Oh, I just heard some thunder. I did not think it was supposed to rain today. That's exciting. So it is good because it's like a perfect level of difficulty. I feel like a lot of the books I've been reading recently are a little bit too easy. Like I read them very quickly and I'm not really learning a lot of new words. But this one has me reading a little bit slower. But I think that's good actually. I think I need to challenge myself a little bit, and this book will hopefully do that. It is a thriller because I feel like I only ever read thrillers. They're the only kinds of books that keep me interested and wanting to keep reading. So I will link this down below. Let's get to reading. Something I really enjoy about reading digitally in Italian is that whenever there's a word that I don't understand, I can just press it and a translation will appear. So that's something that's really beneficial when you do read a book on Kindle or an iPad, because that way you can get an instant translation instead of having to stop reading and go look it up. Actually just got back from doing some errands because it stopped raining, so I figured I would go out real quick in case it starts raining again. And now I'm going to do my last little study activity for the day. I'm going to watch a TV show on Netflix. And remember for your study sessions that it is totally fine to break them up. I had time today that I was able to do a chunk of studying grammar as well as reading. But if you don't have hours at a time to study, it's totally fine to do 15-20 minutes here, another 15 minutes there, 10 minutes here, wherever you can fit it in. I always find that usually at the end of the day, I always have time to watch TV, and it's something that I'm doing anyways. So I like to at least watch one show in Italian or a few YouTube videos in Italian. And if I'm watching Netflix shows or I'm just watching any Italian shows, one of my favorite tools to use is LingoPie. LingoPie is a really great way to learn languages while you watch TV. So I know I recommend all the time watching TV in your target language, watching YouTube videos. But obviously, if you don't know what you're doing, you don't know how you can get the most out of that TV watching session. And luckily, LingoPie has content and also connects with Netflix, so you can use all of their features when you watch shows. And I'm going to show you what these features look like because I'm going to watch a show. I'm just going to start this Netflix series that came out, I think, a while ago. It's called, in English, Tear Along the Dotted Line. And I've heard really good things about it. It is animated, but I heard that it's really funny. It's like a comedy drama, I think. But I've heard really good things about it, and I've actually been meaning to watch it, and I saw that LingoPie has it in their catalog. So I'm going to give it a try, watch the first episode. Luckily, they're very short episodes, so that makes it really good and easy to get like a quick study session in. Usually when I watch Italian shows, I just use Italian subtitles, but a thing that I really enjoy about LingoPie is that you can show dual subtitles, so English and Italian at the same time. And as I was watching the show, I realized I kind of needed both just because the Roman accent and dialect and slang was a bit difficult for me to understand, and they spoke very quickly. And I also used one of their features where you can slow down the video, but it doesn't sound weird or distorted. It really is just slower, and it works really well. I also like that you can see the script on the sidebar, or you can choose to minimize it. And when you click on a word for an instant translation, it gets saved to a vocab deck, which you can then review later on. So what I like to do is review those vocabulary words from the previous episode before I start watching the next episode. So it's great because it's all stored within LingoPie. And I didn't use it this time, but they also have a pronunciation practice tool, which is really great because if you hear a word or a phrase that you want to practice pronouncing, you click on the little microphone button, record yourself speaking, and then you get scored on how good your pronunciation was. Okay, so I watched the first episode of that show, and I will say, if you are a beginner, do not watch that show. I totally forgot that my friends had told me this, that the show's actors have a very intense Roman accent. They also use some slang, maybe even some dialect, and now I can kind of piece things together, but the accent is very strong, so it would be so hard if you are a beginner. For me, it was still pretty difficult, but luckily LingoPie has an option where you can slow down the audio, and somehow it doesn't sound weird or distorted. I don't know how they do it, but you can slow it down and it sounds normal, but just way slower. which is nice because they also spoke very, very fast. So even for me, it was like I was really struggling to keep up. But I think this is good because I need to start watching things that are above my levels. That way I can improve. So if you want to give Lingopie a try, you can click the link in the description for a 7-day free trial and 70% off the lifetime plan. And I highly recommend you try it out. They're always adding new features. Now they even have live lessons and the Netflix extension. And I definitely think it's a great tool for language learning in a way that's fun and engaging. So that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments below. I would be happy to show you my study routines with Italian because I am always trying to improve. And I think once you get to this advanced level, it's really hard to make progress. And I don't feel like there's a lot of content out there for language learners who are at that intermediate to advanced level. So I'm happy to always make more. Be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. And also don't forget to check out Lingopie in the description below. And I'll see you next time. Bye.